October is looking to be a massive month for the console version of Rust because we've got another big update coming, and this time it's the staging branch. With the staging branch, we're going to get things like tech tree, gestures, aim assist, gun handling changes, and even different server configurations. These changes are going to come to staging first and hopefully going to come down to the main branch after that. This is huge news for everybody because it means now we're going to be getting updates much, much faster. So what we're going to do now is jump into the announcement. We're going to go over it, and then I'm going to let you guys get back to it. But before you do that, make sure you hit the subscribe button. I'm trying to get to 100,000 subscribers, and it would be really cool if you could help me. Anyways, let's read this. The public test branch is almost here. The wait is over. Starting tomorrow, October 14th, Deluxe and Ultimate Edition owners will have access to the long-awaited public test branch. So Deluxe and Ultimate, those were two editions of the Rust console game that were released. If you own those editions, you're going to have access to the staging branch. It is a different game, so make sure you do download it. I mean, it's Rust, obviously, but it's a different game on the store. It's a little weird, but you'll understand later. This is a great opportunity for the players to see and test new content that will be available for the Rust console edition, so you guys can get bugs before anybody else, before it hits the live servers, and for us to test the boundaries of the game and add new and exciting features without risk of compromising the main game. So what this means is staging branch is going to get all the bugs that main branch just wishes they could have. All right. You can help us shape the game by sharing your feedback and reporting any issues you may find. Keep in mind that bugs may be prevalent. After all, this is part of the journey. So bugs are part of the journey. I think everybody's been experiencing those so far. But yeah, more bugs to come. But the nice thing here is the bugs are going to be hopefully contained to staging branch. So if you're looking for a bug-free experience, you can go play some other game. No, you should be able to hopefully play the main servers. Anyways, note, progress will not carry over between both versions of the game, so you will not have access to your skins or Rust coins. So you can't buy skins or you can't use skins in this version of the game. That's going to be a huge negative for a lot of people, but that's just the way it is because they're two separate games like I was talking about. So what will be available with release of the public test branch? Tech tree. Experimentation is over as we bring tech trees to console. Each level of the workbench has its own tech tree composed of all of the items within its tech tree level. This system allows you to see the entire tree of items and allows you to unlock them in a linear fashion, choosing paths and allowing you to specialize. We are testing out balance changes and functionality as part of the staging branch release. So with the tech tree, basically, you're going to be able to pick your path for blueprints. So if you want to get C4, you can build a T3 workbench and research your way down to C4 rather than having to try and loot C4. If you're scrap rich and item poor, this is going to be a huge quality of life improvement for you. A lot of clans, this is going to mean they can get all blueprints faster, which does sort of suck, but for solos, it's going to mean that you can get more specific items faster, which is nice. It's an improvement for everybody, in my opinion. It's going to mean a lot less time wasted, and a lot of you guys are going to have more time to jack off in the shower or whatever you want to do with your free time. Anyways, moving on. Gestures. You can now express yourself with a new selection of gestures available to everyone in a sample pop-up menu during the gameplay. So those of you who wanted to flick people off can now do it, and those of you who wanted to be friendly can go play a different game because that's not Rust. Anyways, moving on. Aim assist and different gun handling. A new configuration for aim assist is going to be tested, as well as some different settings for the gun handling. Please let us know if you like the changes or if they need to be adjusted. So recoil is probably going to be changing again, and aim assist is going to be nice because, you know, it makes sense with the controller. They're just not as accurate as a mouse and keyboard. Some people are going to hate me for saying that, but I think it's true. Different server configurations. This is actually a really big one. Over the coming weeks, new server types will be released on the test branch. These are focused on creating scenarios for testing features along with the possible future main game modes, such as PvE. We are starting with 3K maps available during the first week. Bigger maps is one of the more requested features, so we will use the staging branch to try new map sizes. So pretty soon we might be seeing bigger maps, which is a huge plus. It's going to mean that we can get more monuments on a map. You can spread out a little bit more, which is huge for solo players. And in addition to that, they're testing PvE, maybe gun game, and a bunch of different server types, which means this is probably a key component to actually getting community servers, which is going to be a huge quality of life improvement for pretty much everybody. And then other changes, audio changes, removal of roadside substation radiation, blood censorship mode, fixes and improvements, tree improvements, and recoil tweaks. So now we're going to be talking about just how this is going to work. So those were all the changes. If you want to leave the video and you don't want to hear me discuss changes, you can pretty much leave at this point, just a heads up. If you have the deluxe or ultimate editions of the game, getting into the public test branch should be fairly easy, but the methods of accessing it will differ depending on your platform and on when you got the game. PlayStation players who purchased the deluxe or ultimate editions of the game before the 14th of October at 10 a.m. UTC will need to log in with their PSN ID on the console or web browser. Open the PlayStation Store and search Rust Console Edition Public Test Branch to download it. The test branch will be automatically available in the PlayStation library for those who bought the game after 14th of October at 10 a.m. In summary, purchase before the 14th of October at 10 a.m. UTC, log in with their PSN ID on the console or web browser, open the PlayStation Store and search Rust Console Edition Public Test Branch, download it. And now Xbox, which always has a better experience. For Xbox users, on the 14th of October at 10 a.m. UTC, your Rust Console Edition pre-order beta in your libraries will be replaced with the Rust Console Edition Public Test Branch, and you can access it from there. If you have access to the public test branch, we hope you have a great time while you help us test these new implementations to the game. We will try to make the testing process as engaging as possible to everyone involved. Have a great week, survivors. So that's the announcement, but in my opinion, that's a huge announcement. Having staging is going to be a huge quality of life improvement because now instead of pushing bugs to main where everybody gets them, it's only going to be people on staging branch that have to deal with the bugs, but people on staging branch are going to get access to features earlier than everybody else. I think this is a pretty fair trade-off, and overall this seems like a really great sort of move forward. It's likely going to mean that they can be a little bit riskier with things that they release, and I know everybody's laughing because like they've been pretty ridiculous with some of these bugs, but they're going to be able to be a little bit more ridiculous now, and it's not going to affect the main gameplay. Overall, really good quality of life improvements. I'm excited for this, especially the different server configuration. But new server configurations is huge. Literally, this is probably one of the biggest changes to be coming to the console version of Rust since its release. This is going to be game-changing for a lot of people, especially if you don't have access to Rust on the PC or you can't play it on the PC. Like, this is huge because you're going to just be able to do so much more. You're going to be able to play different styles of gameplay, and you're going to be able to play on bigger maps, which means you're going to have more sort of time alone to yourself to just wander in the woods and run around naked and scare deer. I don't know what you're doing. But anyways, yeah, really good changes that we're seeing, and honestly, I'm a huge fan of this. So yeah, like shout out to the Rust developers. They've done an amazing job with this October release cycle, and if they can do this moving forward, this literally could end up being one of the bigger games of 2022. So fingers crossed, and for those of you wondering if you should be getting back into the game, I'd say it's about time. There's a few bugs that they might need to like iron out, but it's about time to get back into Rust because things are changing for the better. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Hit subscribe, and until next time, peace.